Today, we're diving into something truly fascinating. How two people who were once confined by an outdated institution have become America's secret weapon in global influence. While Britain struggles with its declining reputation on the world stage, Harry and Meghan are out here making the United States look better than ever. This isn't just about celebrity. It's about soft power, international diplomacy, and how authenticity wins in the modern world. Let's get into it. Picture this. It's 2020, and two people make one of the bravest decisions imaginable. Prince Harry and Meghan walk away from everything: titles, security, and financial support to build a life based on their own values. They leave behind the suffocating protocols of royal life and settle in sunny Montecito, California, ready to write their own story. Now, 5 years later, what have we witnessed? An absolute masterclass in reinvention. Harry and Meghan haven't just survived outside the royal bubble, they've thrived. They've transformed from restricted royals into unrestricted global changemakers. And here's what makes this even more compelling. In doing so, they've become unofficial ambassadors for American values, boosting US influence around the world in ways that traditional diplomacy simply can't match. Think about what soft power actually means. It's not about military might or economic pressure. It's about attraction, about making people want to align with your values, your culture, your vision for the world. It's influence that comes from inspiration rather than intimidation. And that's exactly what Harry and Meghan bring to the table for America. While they champion mental health awareness, support veterans, advocate for gender equality, and build bridges with nations across the globe, they wrap it all in values that resonate deeply with the American spirit. Resilience, second chances, speaking your truth, and creating change from the ground up. Let's talk about the Invictus Games, because this is where Harry's vision and America's platform have created something truly special. Yes, Harry founded the Games during his time as a working royal, but look at what's happened since he moved to the United States. The Invictus Games have evolved into something even bigger, more inclusive, and more impactful than ever before. They represent everything America loves to project to the world, supporting veterans, celebrating resilience over adversity, creating inclusive spaces where everyone's contribution matters, and turning personal struggles into collective strength. These aren't just feel-good sporting events, they're powerful statements about how we treat the people who've served their countries. When wounded, injured and sick service members and veterans from around the world come together through Invictus, they experience American hospitality and American values firsthand. They see a nation that genuinely cares about military personnel beyond recruitment posters and political speeches. They witness communities coming together to support and celebrate these athletes, creating lasting goodwill that no amount of traditional diplomacy could ever buy. Harry's personal connection to military service gives the Games authentic credibility. He's not a politician showing up for a photo op. He's someone who served, who understands sacrifice, who's been in the arena himself. Combined with Meghan's advocacy for mental health and her powerful communication skills, they've turned Invictus into a global movement that benefits America's international standing immensely. Meanwhile, back in Britain, what could have remained a crown jewel of British soft power has become just another tabloid punching bag. Instead of celebrating what Harry created, the UK media diminishes it, questions it, and turns something positive into another weapon against the couple. That's an own goal, if there ever was one. Now, let's look at Harry and Meghan's international visits, because this is where things get really interesting from a diplomatic perspective. When they travelled to Colombia, they weren't just tourists. They were received as international dignitaries. Colombia's vice president herself welcomed them, recognizing their global influence and commitment to social issues. Think about what that means for the United States. Colombia is strategically important to U.S. interests in Latin America, from stability to social progress. Harry and Meghan arrive with authentic interest in mental health, gender equality, and empowering marginalized communities, creating exactly the kind of people-to-people connections governments dream about. They're doing the same work in Nigeria and across Africa. At a time when the US is seeking stronger partnerships on the continent amid growing global competition, Harry and Meghan show up with genuine relationships and shared causes. They're not lecturing, they're listening, learning, and collaborating. Their mental health advocacy resonates across cultures, and their support for women and girls creates natural alliances worldwide. And because they're based in America and raising their children as Americans, that goodwill reflects positively on the United States. Compare that with Britain's soft power today. Instead of being seen as cultured and diplomatically sophisticated, the UK is increasingly defined by toxic tabloids and internal royal drama. The world watches British media savagely attack a biracial woman and her husband for wanting to protect their family, and it doesn't look dignified, it looks petty, racist, and stuck in the past. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The relentless attacks on Harry and Meghan haven't damaged the couple nearly as much as they've damaged Britain itself. Every nasty headline and manufactured controversy reflects poorly on the UK, not on Harry and Meghan. The world sees a country that drove away two of its most modern, globally appealing figures because they didn't fit a rigid mould. Soft power depends on admiration and inspiration. How can Britain claim that position while its tabloids conduct character assassination campaigns against a woman of colour who married into the royal family? What was once Britain's greatest soft power asset has become a liability, associated with dysfunction, outdated hierarchies, and failure to protect its own members. Now contrast that with America's response. Yes, Harry and Meghan face criticism here too, but Americans love a reinvention story. We celebrate authenticity, resilience, and the courage to build something new when old systems fail. They walked away from guaranteed status to pursue life on their own terms, faced enormous adversity, and used their platform for causes bigger than themselves. That story resonates deeply in American culture. Their daughter, born in California, symbolizes the future growing up American, shaped by values of freedom, opportunity, and self-determination. British royalty choosing America as home sends a powerful message about which society offers a better path forward. They've also backed their public profile with substance. Through the Archewell Foundation, they support concrete initiatives in mental health, disaster relief, family services, and community building. These aren't vanity projects, they deliver measurable impact. Their media ventures give them the power to shape narratives directly, telling stories that matter and amplifying voices that need to be heard. That's cultural power. And every time someone around the world watches content they've produced, American soft influence expands. At the end of the day, this story is about choices and consequences. Harry and Meghan chose mental health and family over institutional duty. They chose authenticity over approval. America chose to welcome them and give them space to grow. The ripple effects are clear. The United States gains powerful global ambassadors, Britain loses two of its most effective cultural exports, and Harry and Meghan live with dignity and purpose. If you've made it this far, You're clearly part of a community that sees through tabloid nonsense and recognizes real impact. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're building a space where their work can be discussed without distortion. Thanks so much for watching. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on Harry and Meghan's impact on US soft power. I love hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay informed, stay positive, and remember, the truth always wins in the end.